All right, guys. Today, what I want to talk about is this woman who's going to remain anonymous that I work with, who has what I found out to be was histrionic disorder. And histrionic disorder is basically another word for this theatrical disorder, and it's a mental health issue that only affects 1% of the population, and it normally affects women. Women usually have this illness, and basically, it's an illness that's characterized by seeking attention through inappropriate behavior, basically misleading people and lying to people about yourself in order to get their approval. And basically, these people will do anything to achieve attention. That's the number one thing. And to feel this sense of importance. Usually, these people, based on a diagnosis, are at a vulnerable place in their life. They're not doing well. So, what they do is, in order to get their high, their mental high, intoxicant, get intoxicated, lie to people who they are because it makes them feel good. Now, this girl, she works in the security department. And when she first got in there, man, she's, and just like a lot of other people who have mental health issues, they're very charming, they're very charismatic, and they know how to make people like them. They know that they're very charming, and there were no red flags. And the only reason why I'm even talking about this is because this person works in security. It's her job to keep the people of this place safe, wherever she works. And this person is actually a documented liar. That's a part of her diagnosis. So when she first came there, she kept talking about the fact that, hey, I'm going to have to take off all this time because I got to go to court for my brother. And everybody's asking, what happened to your brother? And she's like, well, my brother got murdered at this nightclub. I'm suing the nightclub. They were negligent. Before I started working security here, I had my own private security company. And I said, okay. Everybody's like, okay. And then I find out that I know her brother, and her brother actually was one of the biggest drug dealers in the area. And when he died, it was all over the news about how it was drug related and all of this stuff. This guy, he had about 4, and he was basically an informant. And I'm not going to get too deep into that, but he got murdered with another guy. And both of these guys, if you could find people's records, you can go to the court database and pull up their all the times they've been to court, right? The docket. These guys got distribution of heroin, distribution of coke for years. They get caught, they get popped. This dude actually had manufacturing of heroin. I never even seen that charge before. I don't even know what that means. But this guy had a manufacturing of heroin and coke charge. He caught 10 of them in the last 5 years. How do you catch manufacturing of heroin and manufacturing of cocaine 10 times in the last 5 years and you're not in prison? So I heard through the grapevine that he was a snitch and he got killed. And then I'm like, okay, so you claim you're going to court because you're going to, and she was like, yeah, the police want me to come to court because they have a suspect and they want me to identify the suspect. And I'm like, first of all, that's not police protocol. Police will never allow you to see a suspect in court. First of all, the case isn't even solved yet. So what is the suspect doing in court? Oh, the suspect is actually, she said, he's in court for another separate case, but the police think that's the guy and they want me to come to his case to see if it's him. The suspect's he's not arrested for the murder. He's arrested for possession of marijuana. But since, the police think that's the guy who did it, they want me to come to court for his possession of marijuana and see if it's him. So I look up her name, and she's going to court because she's getting sued. And come to find out, she's been getting sued and garnished for the past 15 years. She's got sued and garnished from Section 8, meaning she got kicked out the projects, and they sued her to get the money back that she owed. And she was going to court that time for her car. They took her car from her because she didn't pay. And then, so she got garnished $10,000. She got garnished 5 times within that year. And the job knows it because they get the garnishments. You understand what I'm saying? So she got garnished. She was getting sued. This was a delinquent person who didn't pay her bills. But she's lying to people saying, oh, I'm getting all this money. I'm suing the business that my brother was at when he got killed, the little restaurant he got killed at. I'm suing them for millions of dollars. But it turns out you're getting sued. And then the lies just kept coming. This is a hotel where she works. So she's telling people that she used to be a general manager of a hotel. Mind you, she's a security person in a hotel, a low position, just a regular associate. If you're a general manager, that means you run the entire hotel. That's what a general manager is. A general manager is the CEO. And she's telling people, at my last job, I was the general manager. And then she's telling people in the restaurant, because there's a restaurant in the hotel. She's telling she's telling the management staff, everybody she sees. If she sees a restaurant manager, she's going to say, I used to be a manager at a restaurant. If she sees the housekeeping manager, she's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I ran the housekeeping department at my last hotel, at the last hotel I worked at." So basically, what happened is a position opened up for restaurant manager. So she's telling people she used to be a general manager. She used to be this, that. So they say, okay, why don't you apply for this restaurant manager gig? Because one of the managers didn't know. They didn't know that she had histrionic disorder. They didn't know that she was a liar. They didn't know that she lies to get attention. So they said, look, if you had all these management positions, apply for this one. It's an opening. You already work here. You can just switch over. She applied. The general manager of the hotel had a special meeting with her boss and said she's not allowed to apply to any more positions because she lied about her resume. This girl has never been a general manager, never been a housekeeping manager, never been any of that stuff. And on top of that, she carries her. She always tells people that she has relationships with police. Oh, I know all of these police, and I used to be a lieutenant in the police force. And then when you look up her background, look up her court cases, she has the civil stuff, all these lawsuits against her, got kicked out of 3 different projects, Section 8 if you get kicked out the projects, that's bad. If the projects put you out and take you to court and sue you to get the money that you owe, that's bad. And she got a shooting on her background. She's been convicted of reckless handling of a firearm. She was initially charged with discharge of a firearm in a public place, but that got reduced to reckless handling of a firearm. And she had a malicious wounded, but that got dropped to assault 1. So I know all this information about her because she's lying all the time. She lies about everything. If you go in there and you say, hey, I just left Hawaii, she's going to say, I'm from Hawaii. Or, if somebody, a guest in a hotel says, hey, I'm from LA, I just got here from California, she's going to say, oh my God, I'm from LA. And basically, I was like, why does this girl keep lying? She's nothing what she appears to be. She tries to carry herself like this professional woman, boss type chick. But in reality, she's on her ass and she's doing bad. I got so deep into it, man. I was so confused by the situation. She kept telling me that she just bought a house. I bought a house. My boyfriend's living with me. I'm not going to put him on a lease because I don't trust him. And I'm like, first of all, you got kicked out of all these different projects. How the hell are you going to get a house? And I look up the address because she tells me where it is. And I say, she didn't tell me. She told me the general area, but when you put her name inside of Google, you can find where she lives. So I'm doing research because she's lying so much, and at first I didn't know why. So I found out her address. Lo and behold, I know the woman who owns the damn house because it's in my old neighborhood, and she's going around telling people that's her house, and her boyfriend and his kids and her boyfriend's and the boyfriend's mom lives with her. And I'm like, how's that possible? You got the worst credit score in the world. You can't get a house, especially a $400,000 house in a nice neighborhood. So I figured out. I know who her boyfriend is, and I know the mom. And she's going, and that's their home. They let her live with them because they felt sorry for her because she was homeless because her family cut her off because they know she's a liar. And typically with people with this histrionic disorder, after knowing them about a year, people cut them off because they realize they're liars. So a couple of weeks ago, she says that her boyfriend left her. But of course, she phrased it that she left him, and she made, basically what happened is she got sued for the car. Remember I told you they took the car? She needed a vehicle. She needed transportation. So this guy that she met last year, she's living with him, and he's like, why don't you get a damn car? Her excuse is, well, I'm saving money. He doesn't know that she got sued. He doesn't know that she got all these had shot somebody. He don't know that she lying. He just met her last year. It takes about a year to get to know that this person has histrionic disorder. So they go get a car, and she comes up with some excuse so that he signs for it. He puts his name on it. She doesn't. She made up some lie as usual. So the guy at the car lot is like, dude, this girl is going to court right now. She just left court and got sued for a car. Now she's going to court again because they for another lawsuit for another car. And then the boyfriend, he's like, what? She told me that she was saving money and doing this and doing that. And that led to a breakup, and he put her out. But of course, at work, she's telling people, I put him out of my house. So I don't know if you've ever met anybody with that histrionic disorder, man, but it's very challenging because they lie a lot. They seek attention in inappropriate ways, and basically they're very insecure, so they want to feel important, and they'll do anything to do that. And one thing about them, though, man, I learned the best way to deal with her: be nice to her. They love compliments. I just kiss her ass all day. It's artificial, but that's how I survive, because I can't be around a person like that 24/7. They literally will lie to you 24/7 if you be around them. So I've learned the best way to deal with them is to say, "Oh my God, that's so great. That's amazing. Oh, you're number one. Hey, what can you do?" And yeah, she works in security. A big liar like that is in charge of people's safety. What a shame. Peace.